WARNO League Quarterfinals number 4, game number 2, Infamous versus sotek. And we're in for a lovely match on Vertigo. If it comes to game number 3, that will be on Death Row. And sotek is up 1-0 now. So Infamous has to get a win here, and otherwise will be eliminated. And sotek will play Phoenix in the semifinals. And the matchup is a nice one here as well on the lovely map of Vertigo. Infamous on the left side, bringing around 39th guards, 79th guards tank core. And sotek is bringing around 3rd US Armored. So it's the big boys against each other. TAD-UDs against M1A1HA. And obviously a lot of Apaches versus a good amount of Mi-24s and Tunguskas and OSAs. Plus MiG-31s versus F-15. So like all the top end equipment from the Soviet Union and the US from 1989 up against each other. So that should be a pretty lovely game. And might get pretty close once more. Game number 1 obviously going 40 minutes, so let's see if they can do it here again. As we have a good amount of BMP2s coming up, Motostrelkis, couple of Rajvetkas. On the other side, we see M151s, Voyage Scouts, and so on, and a lot of military police. A hell of a lot of military police. Apache as well. And yep, if you want to see me in a nice costume or the finals cast, there's a nice sub goal up there. We're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer, but we're also getting closer to the finals. So the time is running out as well. Can we beat the 50 subscriptions? If you have a Twitch Prime laying around, I would highly appreciate it if you would attribute it to this channel. Every bit of money helps a lot at the moment. So yeah. And if you don't have a Twitch Prime, a normal subscription does it as well. But yeah, let's have fun here as both players are ready. BTR 60s coming around. Also, obviously, if you want to see more WARNO stuff and you haven't followed yet, follow so you see when we are live again. And if you want to see more information about tournaments and so on, you can find the information on our website, playsdl.com. And you can find our Discord, which you can find the link down below, where we talk a lot about the games, where all the top players are on as well. So you can get better there as well. Like all the players that are in here are on the Discord as well. Most of them also active, talking about strategies, talking about what's going on in the meta and so on. So if you want to get some help, want to get better, it's a nice place to be around. All the people are pretty helpful as well. All nice guys. Mi-24V trying to get around, get the OH Scout, but F-15 is faster. Is the F-15 fast enough to get away from the MiG-31 though? MiG-31 doesn't get the second connection. One missile goes in, so the F-15 gets heavily damaged, will be out for a while, but it will get out after getting the Mi-24V, so interesting early start here already. Rocket Apache will get the Vajvetka parry here, killed off then most likely. Osa coming around, gets the OH Scout. Second Osa moving forward. Apache has to be careful. This Osa is getting closer, but not quite having line of sight. Second Osa is coming around as well though. That should have line of sight relatively soon. So the Rocket Apache needs to be careful. But infantry-wise, sotek now with quite a bit more here with the fire teams and military police. Vajvetka's parry around though, and they have the TNT. Conquerors flying around here now as well. But the Osa is trying to move around. Fire team Law moving in into the south. What's in the north? The Conquerors hits the engineer. Oh no, misses the engineer dragon. That looked like it would be a hit. Second shot won't get in there before the M113 can unload. Meanwhile, MPMP2s light up the fire teams over here. TADBV around as well. M1A1 here, under fire already. That one gets a side shotted by the Conquerors, down to 1 hit point, has to smoke off and get the hell out of there, otherwise it will die here. Yeah, smoke, super important, needs heavy repairs already. Rocket Apache, back into action. Osa got some damage as well, but is still around. Second Osa is here as well, so the Apache has to be careful. And the TADBV BMP2 push here right now is pretty scary for sotek here in the south. North, absolute stalemate. It's all down to the fight down here as the ATGMs keep on flying. Ooh, M1A1 gets killed off by the Conquerors as it disengaged in the wrong pattern. Ooh, and that is really tough. That M1A1 was supposed to be the counter to the TADBV in here. Now there's nothing around here to stop it. Well, A10 Thunderbolt can do the job, and at least one of the Osas, oh no, both of the Osas still alive. MiG-31 comes in, misses all its shots, has to get the hell out of here as the F-15 tries to get on its tail, but is a bit too slow. And the MiG-31 will get out of here before the F-15 can get any shots out. So nothing really happens there in the air, outside of a couple of MiG-31 missiles landing and crashing all around the map. In the end, Saperi moving forward as well. Thunderbolt trying to find a target. It's Mavericks. ATGM's missiles are pretty dangerous. Don't quite kill TADBV with a front shot, but do a good amount of damage. And any side shot will kill them, and they kill all the other stuff around here one shot. And they're pretty accurate. Plus, the GAU 8 gun does a lot of damage as well. Osa, though, is around. ADBV gets hit a second time, gets killed off. So at least it does a job here, but it goes down to the Osas. Osas doing their job as well. So in the end, a relatively fair trade there. As both of these units cost the same. And also have similar availability. First, CV coming in for Infamous. Surprised that we see CV so late on this map, as the +3 zones in the rear, if you get them early and the enemy gets them like 1 or 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes later, you already have a sizable advantage on the take. So getting them relatively early is something that we see quite often, but obviously you also have a lot of big engagements coming in here from the get-go, so investing into a CV means that you're weaker there. It's a bit of a risk, but it can pay off big time. Now we have a +3 for Infamous. CV coming in instantly from sotek on the other side. Another CV in the north, maybe eventually, but for now we first have the first big boy on the battlefield. First TADU with its gas turbine coming in onto the battlefield. Sounding like a starting jet, more so than a tank. As BMP2s roll in as well. +3 for Infamous. Artillery flying out of the mortar, once more using a lot of smoke. Goes up to 84 points here. As on the other side we have another M1A1. Pulling forward. Apache still in this around. Bradley with the TOW2 can do a lot of damage to all kinds of tanks as well. Even the TADUD takes a sizable amount of damage from those things. Whilst the BTRs move forward. BMP2s, Saperis and Motostrelkis moving in. Engineer and Motostrelki disengaging. BMP2 now hitting up the M113 here. Not quite getting the kill there. Chaparral and Pivot moving forward. BMP2 moving around. That's the ITO. Gets in here into a nice position as well. EDU coming up. BMP2 rolling in into south. BRDM will get in here in the north. That will allow +3 again, so Infamous will go up a bit more in points, as no CV on the way quite yet for sotek. But the ITOs can be helpful here to deal with all the lighter tanks, and side shots against the TADU will do a solid amount of damage there as well. TADU takes 1 damage there from a single hit. TADU now continuously moving forward. Whilst infantry tries to help out dealing with the ITO. Conquerors shooting another ATGM. Can that connect? Oh, it's close, but doesn't quite get the hit against the M113. ITO under fire. ADU shooting and then retreating into smoke. Trying to get the kill here. Gets hit one more time. As the Aito now tries to disengage. Gets out of there with 1 hit point. TDU still on 8 hit points, so not anywhere near dying, but a bit lower. That's the M1A1 tries to move around. TDU outclasses it by a good margin. It's 1917 versus 2020, but with the 19 damage on low range, it still can do a good amount of damage to the TDU. So it receives a lot more from the TDU in a long range gunfight. Really quite a bit outclassed there. BMP2 with the autocannons trying to help out. Aito's moving forward though, so the BMPs have to be really careful. ADU engaging further here. MTLB trying to get in, but the Aitos are getting close, so the MTLB might not make it all the way over here. Should have come around maybe this way. Another MTLB is coming in to move forward to resupply the units here on the front line. ADU tries to hold the line. M1A1 got damaged by a BMP2, but got the kill in the end. 3 damage on it. TADU now down to 7 hit points as well, as the Aito is under fire. Engineered Dragons though, hitting the MTLB. Phantom with HE bombs. Get the kill onto some infantry. Get shot down afterwards though. MTLB goes down though, so no repairs on the TADU here right now. No reloads on the OSAS. And the TADU has to be careful now. MTLB number 2 goes down as well. Yeah, using the wrong path for those. As there's now a CV in the north for sotek as well. So Infamous only goes up to 243 points. It's an advantage, but not a major one. That's something that can be changed in 1 or 2 minutes of good takes. So Infamous can't rest on this. Has to fight for more for sure, especially as we still have 30 minutes remaining. The game is far from over, and sotek is getting the better positions right now. I'm not 100% sure he gets the better traits, but sotek is putting up the pressure. And that might lead to better traits down the line, as if you lose the tree line here, getting back in here in the south from the red side is highly annoying. You always kind of want to have at least this tree line. TADU moving around. If that can get a 1v1 against the M1A1, it should be victorious. M1A1 only advantage is the accuracy. The baseline accuracy is better. Has lower rate of fire though. At least when on the base stat line. And especially when stressed out. Bradley goes down here. Good kill there together with the BMP2s. Osas, nice retreat to a good position. Another TADU coming up. So that is nice. TADU gets a shot onto the M1A1, gets a nice hit. M1A1 gets a hit as well, but only deals 1 damage. M1A1 now smoking off, as it itself got 3 damage from the TADU hit. So TADU, as you can see, for sure having the advantage there. Reduced the cohesion of the other tank to normal as well, so cohesion advantage there now too, whilst the Conqueror still tries to be nasty from up top. Gets a hit on the M113. Has to be careful of the Apache though. Apache could easily kill this right now. Isn't quite moving around for it just yet. Now it comes up. So the Conquerors should be dead now, after killing a couple of another more M113s. Good amount of infantry coming up for Infamous. 243 points. Whilst the MTLB is moving around. M1A1. Yeah. Needs another supply truck. Another supply truck on the way. Now, a supply helicopter actually. UH-60 on the way. Black Hawk supply coming in. The Rocket Apache not helping out here just yet. Conqueror's getting another good kill here. On to another M113. M1A1HA is on the battlefield now though. And that actually outclasses the TADUs. TADUD outclasses that one once more. But it outclasses the TADUs, at least when it is in gun range. Obviously, the TADUs have the ATGM, and they have a bit of better rate of fire once stress comes in, though they don't get extra rate of fire from veterancy, which means that the baseline with high veterancy on the M1A1HA is actually better. And it has 1 more penetration over the TADU. So it should, and better accuracy, with 5% better accuracy on static and 10% extra accuracy on the move. So ADU a bit outclassed there once more. Unless it gets 1 or 2 nice 80 gems hits in. And the 80 gems, the reflex 80 gems of the TADUs are pretty good. Relatively fast flying, and 21 damage is not half bad either. So Infamous could do pretty well with those. Meanwhile, in the same time though, M1A1 coming into the north, and there's only one Conquerors that is nearly out of ammo there to stop it, and that shouldn't be enough. Little recon here though for sotek. OH Scout is coming around though. E-Club might clap that, as the Engineer and the M1A1 is moving forward. Like, Infamous's investment into the north is super low. Now bringing in a Motostrelki Medis there. Now trying to bring an MTLB in as well. Tunguska moving onto the battlefield, trying to help out against the Apache. It has 3,000 meter range against helicopters with its missiles. So even more range than the OSA. Even more range than the ATGMs of the Apache itself. Whilst sotek now goes up to a +2 with a CV in here in the zone. Conquerors will find the M113 here most likely. Yeah, get the kill. M1A1HA moving forward. Guska coming up. Meanwhile, Rechvetka dealing with the Engineer. OH Scout moving around. M1A1 not engaging. That's down to south. BMP2 gets killed off by the M1A1. Gets a solid amount of damage onto the M1A1 again. But that one is now retreating again. Will get repaired once more. EDU got repaired as well. Can move further forward. Mi-24P is around. Pretty good helicopter. 30mm gun that is now pretty strong. 80mm rockets that do a lot of damage. And a Core ADGM with good range. Mediocre damage, but still really good against Bradleys and co. And somewhat helpful against heavier tanks. Meanwhile, first artillery piece on the battlefield as well with the Akatsia. Akatsia now trying to snipe whatever is in here. Civido on a different spot with the mud sitting in this line, so it doesn't get sniped by the artillery, as we have seen Infamous sniping a lot of CVs last game. So I guess sotek gets a bit more fancy with those CV positionings so that that doesn't happen again. Meanwhile, Conquerors engaging the M150 gets the kill there. And that's pretty annoying for sotek. Conquerors now also back to 6 missiles. So the M1A1 actually has to worry about it again. Didn't come in time. CV comes into the south, so both sides stop ticking once more. And it's a big stalemate here once more. TADU firing its ADGM. Not getting a hit. Now firing its gun onto engineered dragons here though. But M1A1HA is moving around. MTLB Motostrelki have to be careful. Phantom HE gets to hit, but gets killed off by the MiG-31s, which means that it was not really worthwhile to do so. F-15 not coming around in time, going home. MiG-31s coming in here. Yeah, they should have followed up the F4F immediately. If you want to get the MiG-31s, you need to come in there immediately. But that means you also get pretty close to the center with them and so on. So it's a bit risky. Getting the MiG-31s killed is not an easy task. It can be done though. It can be done, but it needs to be you need to be a bit tricky about it. And at least with only 2 MiG-31s in the deck, and them being mostly only really efficient in pairs, once you get one killed, you are in a way better state, and they can't replace them anymore, like they could in the patch before. Yeah, nice kill with the TADU down here, but the frontline units of Infamous got melted. sotek still in a better position with all the buildings, though still 2 TADUs around. Still the Mi-24P in the rear. AA is still around as well with the Osa and Tituguska. Conquerors over here somehow still alive, but now gets spotted by the scout, so the M1A1HA should be able to take it down, as it is trying to hunt them. CV coming in for sotek in the north. sotek back up to the +2. Akatsia trying to hit the infantry here in the front building. Su-25AT flying around, trying to find a target for the ATGM. ATGMs having a bit lower range accuracy than the Mavericks on the side of the Americans, but having better damage with 30 penetration. Engineered Dragons getting pushed back here. Our team getting hit. So the SC-25 ATs, ATGMs are pretty scary. Could see her ruining the building. And back another CV coming up for the North for Infamous. +2 for sotek does continue. That's 80 points per minute. That's Ito and Co have a pretty good entrenchment situation over here. Smoke now coming up from the mortars again. On the other side, still no artillery on the side of sotek. Sotek bringing around another tank, another heavy M1A1HA. This time with less veterancy though. So the +2 for sotek does continue. Second Akatsuya coming onto the battlefield. SU-25 could really be helpful in the north right now. If you could get line of sight there onto the enemy M1A1. EMP-1P trying to help out against the Conquerors, together with the against the Engineer's Dragon that pushed the Conquerors. Motostrelki Maddie's trying to help out there as well. Conquerors actually getting a shot onto the fire team unit in the north, getting Jeep, but fire team unloads last second. EMP-1PG also has to be careful, but fires its AGS now onto the Engineer, and should be able to pin them down relatively quickly now. Yeah, Engineer Dragon now gets slowly but surely pinned down. Not doing amazingly against him though. Still taking a while. Engineers now outside of the building though, as the building got destroyed, and that should be the end of it. M1A1 coming up though. But ATGMs flying from all sides. 2 Conquerors. Dealing 2 damage. BMP having some Fagot ATGMs on top of them as well. Can deal 1 damage per hit at least. Mi-24V coming around too. Could use some rocket fire to help out. Artillery still landing in the south. A lot of infantry in here for sotek. And the 2 M1A1HA are mirroring the 2 TADUs pretty well as well. BMP goes down. 2 Akatsuyas here now. Will we see some TADUDs? Will we see the biggest of boys in this battle? As the OSA is moving up to deal with the Rocket Apache. Rocket Apache in trouble, gets sniped there. OSA doing its job really well there. TADUs engaging nicely onto some stuff over here. M1A1 still too shy to try to get the kill there. If they would be able to overwhelm one of the TADUDs in a double team though, they should be able to win that fight before the second TADU can come around. So I would have risked it there as sotek, but it's obviously not that easy. And obviously sotek doesn't quite have the knowledge we do right now, as the 2 M1A1s are closing in to the front line. Artillery of the Akatsuyas becomes more and more annoying here, destroys a lot of the buildings, kills off quite a bit of the infantry. A good amount of supply on the side of sotek to try to get the repairs done whenever needed, but that obviously takes a while, and that also takes a good amount of supplies. Scouts get found here now. Motostrelki trying to move forward, but Bradley deals good damage there. Scout should be down at least. So less recon in that regard. Another Vajvetka coming up from the other side, trying to help out on the north. That's the Akatsuyas. Now actually tried to hit the M1A1HA. That's interesting. But TADUs don't try to interact there either. Ooh, another Apache under heavy fire from the OSA. OSA does miss twice though. Does miss 3 times. Gets the final kill though. And in the end, 2 Apaches down here again. But it's a 3rd M1A1HA on the battlefield. OSA also has to disengage there. M1A1HA over here does gets a bit of stress damage, gets 1 damage, but 3 M1A1HA are a tough nut to crack. You need a lot of firepower for that. Meanwhile, on the other side, another MTLB snap coming in. Good amount of those. 2 TADUs for sure won't do it. With SU-25 support, maybe, but the AA on the other side is okay. It's not great. No stingers whatsoever, which I'm a bit surprised by. Only Chaparral and the pivot. But there's still the F-15s and so on. So the SU-25 getting through there and getting a kill onto one of the M1A1s. A bit unlikely. And we now have artillery on the side of sotek as well. So the Akatsias still have a good role, but they're not uncontested now. SU-25 hunted by the F-15. F-15 gets some nice hits. Doesn't get the kill though. MiG-31 trying to come around, trying to get the kill onto the F-15. Don't get hits in there though. Turn off quite early. The missiles go the array. And sotek has the slight advantage in points, but really only a really small one. In the playoffs, whoever has more points wins the game. As with the best of 3 until elimination format, draws don't really work out. Or it would be a bit annoying to make work with the current rule set. Maybe you could make it like a Swiss, like a chess kind of format, like in the Chess World Championship, but it's quite a pain. So we play with whoever has more points is counted as the winner for that round, for that game. So at the moment, sotek would get the win. It wouldn't even be a draw with the current draw rules though, like even with the in-game rule set. But yeah, TDU versus M1A1HA, heavy damage on both sides. TDU gets the kill actually, as it gets the second shot quicker, but needs to be careful. Next M1A1HA is around, but getting one of those out is important. TDU over here though, bailed out, so it might be tit for tat. M1A1 gets hit by the SU-25. SU-25 really paying off there. TDU is stranded though. More T-62s coming in, but these don't do anything against an M1A1HA, and that should be able to take out the TDU. Yes, TDU goes down, so M1A1HA and one M1A1 against the TDU. Still a fair trade for Infamous. T-62s, get rid of the Bradley. Yep, there, the T-62s are handy. That was not a good engagement for the Bradley at that range. But against the M1A1HA, they shouldn't do too much, at least not unless they get really close. SU-25 trying to come around. Doesn't really have line of sight though, and the pivots and chaparrals open up fire, and that might be pretty deadly for the SU-25. Takes a lot of damage, will make it out alive though, as only one of the missiles does connect in the end. Vedvedka finds the M1A1 Abrams here. TDU trying to help out. Gets onto some infantry. T-62 now engaging the M1A1 HA over here. Does 2 damage on that range, but the M1A1 HA also one-shots them. So T-62, oh! 2 of them getting an ammo explosion. Actually might get the victory here, yeah. It getting close enough, getting the close range engagements. T-62's working out, but I mean, losing that many T-62s, it's still a relatively okay trade as well for the M1A1HA, as all of the T-62s bite the dust for it as well. Though the M1A1HA in the south goes down as well. I guess to the TADU. TADU down to 1 hit point. Yeah, that must have done the job. So, in the end, still really painful for sotek, as all the M1A1HA bite the dust. And the M1A1 is down as well. No tanks in the south right now. More M1A1s coming in. Another HA as well. 3 tanks rolling into the south. So, this is quite nice. As Motostrelki move around. Motostrelki BMP moving up to the north. Conquers. Try to get into a nice position. The other side, pivot sitting around. Conquers. Getting a nice snipe. More 13. Tries to get a kill there. But the Conquerors is faster with its ATGM. And Infamous has the zone in the south, has the zone in the north contested with the +2. Now, once more onto sotek and gets a point advantage here. Sotek has another unit coming up, 12 minutes remaining. Chaparral trying to hit the Mi-24P. Buratino actually coming around, and that is actually one of the few moments where I would say the Buratino might be worthwhile, as the unit concentration over here is insane, and the Buratino with its heavy rockets, 220mm. That should do a hell of a lot of damage to this infantry here now. Let's see how that goes. Sotek will need to react really, really quickly to get at least some of these out of here now. As the Buratino missiles are, or rockets are flying, coming in here. Dealing a lot of damage to the fire teams. Dealing a lot of damage to the engineers as well. Ah, only firing half a salvo, okay. Not firing the full salvo. Actually firing the full salvo would have been pretty efficient. Does a lot of stress damage though. Doesn't quite have the follow-up there. But yeah, Infamous now up with more than 100 points. Motostrelki is under fire. Wait, what happened to the TADU? Did the TADU die? I must have missed it, but the TADU is dead. Did that over here? Yeah. TADU somehow died over here before it could get repaired. And that's highly unfortunate. Buratino coming around once more. This time not hitting a good spot though. At least destroying the buildings, but not killing anything. Only doing a lot of stress damage, but not killing the hit points. Yeah, Buratino has to go back, has to get reloaded. CV comes in for Sotek, so the southern zone is contested once more. No tick anymore for Infamous here. So Infamous 447 points to 290 points. Infamous is ahead, but it's pretty close. It's pretty damn close. As the MTLB goes down. Okay, Buratino needs to reload. APV. Nice position here for Infamous. Getting a lot of intel. Couldn't even move a bit further forward, I guess, to see even more. Apache didn't take much damage, but took a bit of stress. And the city is burning big time here. Whilst an UH supply comes in. Akatsias trying to hit over here. Ooh, an Apache actually sitting on the ground for Sotek. Not sure why it's sitting down and not just flying low, but that's actually a really good target. Guska moving up. Akatsia could use a reload. Buratino. Ooh, Chapral gets a nice snipe. Gets killed off. As the military police is moving in. Redka Saperi coming up here. 447 points to 290. Saperi moving up. Motostrelki should get hit by TNT here. So, yeah, Saperi should hit the military police with TNT. TNT satchel charges. Not quite in range. Just ever so slightly out of range. Smoke coming up. Infamous really loving the smoke play. Akatsia here. It should stop moving forward, but the other Akatsia finally got the Apache killed. Tunguska under fire over here on the other side. M1A1s and M1A1HA are around on the other side. TADUD is actually now on the battlefield, the biggest of boys, having 21 frontal armor. And 21 frontal armor is a hell of a lot. And SU-25AT coming around as well, but F-15 Eagles are in the skies, get the kill. MiG-31s though come around on the other side, killing one of them. SU-25 number 2 takes heavy damage. F-15 will get out of here alive. Or not. Ooh, MiG-31s on the turn, get another missile shot out. Both of them hitting, and the second of the F-15s bites the dust as well. So that's 2 elite fighters down for Sotek. Infamous gets the CV in the south once more. Gets to another +2. More than 200 points up now. As the TADUD is moving around. 8 minutes 22 remaining. So that should be nice. As the Mi-24V moves around in the north. Military police should get killed off here. Mi-24V AA moving up. Motostrelki Maddie sitting in the bush. Saperi coming up. M1A1 versus TADUD. Whilst M1A1HA is moving forward. Has the hit point advantage now against the TADUD. Has the stress advantage. Should be winning the fight if it comes to it. No other AT round right now outside of this SU-25. This SU-25 can connect, though that obviously would swing the fight hardcore. M1A1 is retreating for now. CV here, really close for Infamous if that would fall. And then sotek could get the CV up here again. sotek might win with tick again. SU-25's here getting a bit too close. A lot of AA flying towards them. The first one gets out, second one gets out as well. But with 7 minutes remaining, they might not make the repairs. Akatsuya hitting back here in the rear, trying to kill anything in there. Second Akatsuya did get killed here in the front line. TADUD is disengaging, wants to get repaired. Saperi gets overrun. Chaparral hitting the Mi-8 over here. And sotek has a CV in here again. 601 points to 290. Thunderbolt trying to come in for the TADUD. Smoke is off though. Thunderbolt won't get anything in there. Buratino got reloaded. Is firing again. Is doing a lot of stress. Not a lot of real damage though. No units directly in where it fired. But that second salvo might be a lot better. A lot of stuff around here. TADUD once more moving forward. Hitting up the fire teams. Bradley and M1A1 HAR round though. TADUD taking a solid amount of damage here from all the AT weapons. The Laws actually getting the kill there. And that's really bad. And that means the M1HA can move forward now. Gets heavy damage by the Buratino though. The Buratino does the job. Gets the M1A1HA. Oh my god, what a heavy... What a shot from the Buratino. What a clutch moment here for Infamous. That might save the CV for enough time here now. This CV has to survive and stay in here. There's still more stuff here for sotek. sotek is behind 300 points. Infamous needs to get the contest on this zone. Up. TADUD is around. Should move forward. I don't know why it stays back here. Can't take the fight with everything here. M1A1HA is down. Apache is moving forward, but there are still OSAs. There's still Tunguska over here. So it needs to be careful. OSA can take the fight there. They are not on attack move though. Apache is in a risky spot. Bradley's firing onto all the OSAs though. BRDM under fire. OSA under fire as well. OSA not getting hit by the Hellcat. By the AA. SU-25 with ATGMs coming around. Gets a hit on the pivot? No. Gets a bit of damage on the pivot. Now gets a hit on the pivot. Gets the kill there. Chaparral's trying to get the SU-25 out of the sky. BRDM goes down. Oh, that is bad news for sotek. With 5 minutes still remaining, Infamous... bad news for Infamous. With 5 minutes still remaining, that tick with 80 points per minute still would be just ever so slightly good enough for sotek, I think. Infamous needs to get a tick in here again. OSAS get the Apache down. The TADUD now, still the biggest boy on the battlefield. Needs to be a bit careful though. Engineered Dragons not having the longest of range, out of ATGMs as well now. But the OSA here will go down as well, most likely. Especially now with Bradley opening up on it. Bradley opening up around here as well. MiG-23 flying around. SU-25 still has an ATGM though. So, the Bradley needs to be careful. OSA under fire by it. Chaparral gets a nice hit onto the SU-25. Second shot does miss though. Still a super clutch fight here. M1A1 M1A1's coming around. TADUD still around. 2 of them now. So they are still the biggest boy. TADBK coming up. If that can get in here and contest the zone for a bit longer, that would be really, really, really helpful for Infamous here. If Infamous could stall this for a minute and 30 or so, it would be good enough to get him the win here. He does not need to take anymore. He just needs to stop sotek from catching up. He's still ahead. He just needs to contest the zone. But obviously, there's way more blue than there's red in here. TADUD moving forward. The big tanks moving in. Little recon for them though. No recon whatsoever. And they're pretty blind beasts. So they don't quite see what is in front of them. And that is obviously a scary prospect. You don't know how many TOW2s are there. How many Bradleys and so on. TADBK in the north needs to be really careful. Tunguska here under fire. Gets hit. The M1A1's opening up fire onto the TADBK as well. TADBK already taking some solid damage. But the M1A1's get picked off by the TADUDs. TADUDs, the absolute beasts that they are. Sniping them off quite quickly there. Engineers under heavy fire over here as well now. Engineer Dragon, not the biggest of risks for the TADBK. As they only have the Dragon 1 with 14 damage. Which only does 1 damage per hit to the TADBK. So they don't have to be super careful there. Apache though, that's a scary thing. And an M1A1 coming up once more. TADBK maybe needs to be once more disengaging. Down to 2 hit points. Oh boy, that is really, really clutch. Is there another CV on the way? No, there's no other CV on the way. But 2 minutes 27. Oh, that will be super close. Is there another CV? No CV on the way just yet. +2 here for sotek. CV of sotek in this front line over here. Is there enough in the north to maybe snipe the mud? Not quite. Alcazia though could maybe try to do that. Alcazia tries to snipe the CV in the south though. Apache moving forward. There's no AA around anymore. Osa back here out of ammo. So the TADUDs will get hit by the Hellfires. Can't do anything about it outside of maybe smoking away. But this one already used up all its smoke. TADBVs have arrived, but no CV right now. CV on the way. BTR coming up. Does it arrive in time? It is on the way here. Tries to get in here ASAP. 1 minute 36. With a +2, this will be super clutch. This will be super close. I have no idea who is going to win this. And if this BTR can arrive in time and contest it for just a slight bit longer. A couple of smoke shells here would be nice now. Both mortars are down, so they can't provide it. The Akatsia is the only way to get that there. The Mud wants more repositioning. Ooh, the Apache gets killed off. So that's an important long-range option killed off. TADUD is the biggest boy on the battlefield now again. And not going to be hunted down by enemy Hellfires anymore. Important kill there for sure. Osa doing it once more. The Buratino up with a good amount of ammunition once more. Could try to shoot once. Yep, tries to shoot once. The mud has been found in the north. Some movement now as well. M150 trying to move forward. TADUD here around as well. That should just A-click right now. sotek really, really close. CV is on the way though. CV is nearly there and sotek still is behind Infamous. It's absolutely clutch. Can that thing unload in time? It should unload directly here. As long as it is in transport, it doesn't contest the zone. Okay, it now contests the zone. 601 to 570 points. The advantage is still in favor of Infamous here now. And Infamous has 2 TADUs defending this. And there's no airplane on the way. 10 seconds remaining. This should be Infamous's game, and that means we will go to a game number 3 here. Yeah, no, nothing can stop this now. And now there is not enough time anymore. So Infamous last second clutch defense here. GGVP to Infamous getting the W here with a lot more kills in the end. And that Buratino of absolute wonders there. The best Buratino we've ever seen in a competitive game. Killing off the M1A1HA there. Absolutely clutch. Helping out so much. Really, really well done. Infamous getting it up to a draw. And that means we will go to a game number 3. And that game number 3 we will see live. As those 2 games we just saw were recorded yesterday. But game number 3 is going up now live. And we will jump into that in 2 minutes. So yeah, short break. And then we go into game number 3. Let's see how that all goes.